All right, let's quickly move on to some other developments that we're tracking right here. The government has lifted a 4-year-old ban on wheat exports but prohibited overseas sales of onions to curb rising prices. This is, of course, after the group of ministers meeting took place yesterday. The empowered group of ministers on food met on Thursday. They've also allowed exports of non-basmati rice, which is why you're seeing all those stocks fly around this morning. Sameepa is here with more details. Sameepa, so generally speaking, good for all the non-basmati exporters?
Absolutely. Non-basmati as well as wheat exporters. After 4 years, like you mentioned, the ban has been lifted and the government has allowed up to 2.1 million tons of export of non-basmati rice and up to 2 million tons of exports of wheat. Now, the main reason for this is because of the bumper harvest that we had. Wheat harvest was up about 6.3% year on year. That and also the fact that the government stockpiles were overflowing with grain, so it had to go out somewhere. So they decided to go ahead and allow these exports to happen. Of course, the panel had recommended having a minimum export price in place for non-basmati rice, but then the empowered group of ministers decided not to go that route. However, the future possibility of having an MEP in place cannot be ruled out. Like you can see, all these counters, KRBL, LT Foods, Kohinoor, are buzzing in trade today, up about 6 to 7% on so. The ban on onions still remains, but like you can see, an extremely big positive move coming in for these wheat and non-basmati rice counters for now.
Okay, Sameepa, thank you for that. Let's take this up with one of the companies involved, which stands to perhaps benefit. We've got Mr. Vijay Arora, Chairman and Managing Director of LT Foods, joining us on the phone line for a quick chat. Mr. Arora, thank you for joining in. Are you happy with what's been announced?
Oh, very happy. The government did a very good job, and Daawat will be definitely benefited by this announcement. Daawat has already this presence in the world market for basmati. The customers, and then they will definitely be able to sell the non-basmati, this new opening of new non-basmati rice.
Can you tell us within your revenue pie, what's the basmati and how much is non-basmati?
At the moment, we were not doing non-basmati because it was closed. But definitely now, since it's opened up, we will do. At the moment, we are doing 50%. Daawat is doing 50% basmati rice exports and 50% in domestic sales.
Okay. What about the pricing differential? I mean, as opposed to selling this non-basmati rice in the Indian market here at prevailing prices, vis-a-vis selling it in the export markets, what kind of a pricing advantage do you think companies can enjoy?
It's not a question of pricing advantage. It is definitely a question of opportunity to sell across the world. There will be definitely a reasonable margin Daawat will be able to get, and by the time if the government gives us this opportunity for the longer period, Daawat can develop their own brand. And with the branding, you can always get the premium and put the reliability in the marketplace. So the whole question is how far the government go for this opening of this non-basmati rice.
Okay, would you be able to give us any sense of the revenue impact with this additional export being allowed, and in which quarter will it start showing up?
It should start showing in the next quarter only. Definitely. The company has a many subsidiary, and there is some limitation, I believe, which we will be able to see soon. Per company that one can export, maximum cap, something has been put. And I think we will be able to get a reasonable size of the business here.
Okay. Final outlook, Mr. Arora, on pricing, prices within the domestic market and also exports. What kind of a trend is expected as we move closer towards the peak of the festive season as well?
No, it will not impact any domestic market because it is definitely going to be, we have to go procure. It will not much impact because we have enough already stocked available in the country, surplus stock.
No, I wasn't talking about with respect to this development. I was generally talking about pricing trends and how rice prices look and what the expectation is for the next 1 or 2 months.
Prices are quite stable at the moment and quite attractive at the sourcing price here. As per the international market like Thailand and Vietnam is quite higher than Indian prices.
Okay, all right, Mr. Arora, we'll leave it on that note. Thanks for giving us your sense on the same. Well, that's the day coming in from one.